A student is investigating the effect of insulation on the rate of cooling of a hot water in a 250 cm cube container. Like you have a 250 cm cube container and you're finding how much time it will take to cool down and finding the effect of insulation, how the insulation or a covering affects the rate of the cooling. So the student can choose from the following apparatus. So these are the things available for the student. What are the things available? A student is having a thermometer, he is having a 250 cm cube glass beaker, 250 cm cube plastic beaker, copper can, Beijing cylinder, three different insulating materials are there. Clamp boss stand, it's collective part in which you can attach a thermometer. A stopwatch is there. Then you have to follow the steps according to the question. Plan an experiment to investigate the effectiveness of three insulating materials. So the basic idea is that like we will take a container. In this container, we'll take a hot water. When you're finding a rate, it means it is always with reference to time. So first it will be with the hot water. I will write the whole experiment, but I'm explaining the idea how to plan this experiment. So first we have a hot water. Inside this hot water, we place a thermometer, and at the same time we will start the timer stopwatch, and we will record the temperature after 30-second interval. Like first we recorded the beginning, then after 30 seconds what is the temperature, then after 60 seconds what is the temperature, 90 seconds, 120 seconds, 150 seconds, and so on. We can repeat till like do this procedure for 3 minutes. So experiment then, and we want to find the effect of three insulation. So there should be insulation around it. So we'll place an insulating material, and insulating material 1, then insulating material 2, and then insulating material 3. Like we have to do it 3 times. And the insulating material means which is a effective insulator, the one which show a smaller change in temperature, that will be the effective insulator. So here the effective insulator, basically the one which show a small change in temperature. So you have to follow the step. This was the overview of the experiment. Now you have to follow the step. Plan an experiment to investigate the effectiveness of the three insulation. Briefly explain how would you carry out your investigation. State the key variable that you will control, like the things which you will keep same or constant. Draw a table or tables with a column heading to show how you would display your readings or result. Explain how would you use your reading to reach a conclusion. First thing, explain briefly how would you carry out this investigation. How we will carry out a diagram is not required, but you may draw a diagram to help your explanation. So if a question it is written you may, then you should draw. Reason for that, maybe you miss any point in the explanation, then your diagram can score a point for you. So first point, will always try to write the answer according to the questions which they ask in the planning. Explain briefly how would you carry out investigation, means the procedure. So what we will do, we will take example, you have a beaker size is 250 cm cube, but it is not necessary you take that the same amount of the liquid. You can take a different amounts. 250 cm cube beakers are there, so you don't have to take all of the beaker, any one of them you can take, because the type of the beaker should be same throughout the experiment. You're only finding the effect of insulation. So example, I'm taking A copper can, because copper is a conductor, other materials are insulator, glass, plastic, so they will also have effect in the result. So I'm taking, but you can take any of them. It's not fixed that which beaker you have to, any one of them you can take. So take 250 cm cube copper can filled with hot water. Place the thermometer, cover with insulating material, one, like the first insulating material, then fill it with hot water, place thermometer, clamp with stand, start the timer or the stopwatch, and record temperature. After 30 seconds interval, and repeat the procedure. Continue for 3 minutes, you can continue for 5 minutes, you can continue, and repeat the procedure. With other insulating materials. Is it clear, the first part, the procedure of this experiment? Any doubt? Then the second part, the key variable that you would control, because you want the experiment to be fair. When you are doing the experiment for fair comparison, what you should do, the key variables. So we will keep the variable which will keep constant. You can measure temperature after 3 minutes as well, but the procedure, because when you have more readings, your experimental accuracy increases. So you have a better way of comparison instead of first and the last value. So the key variable that must be constant or controlled. Number one,
Temperature.
no, the initial temperature, not the temperature, the
Yeah,
starting.
the initial temperature.
Yeah, initial temperature. The final temperature depend on the insulating material.
And the time, I guess. The time
Time,
taken.
volume of water. Yeah, that's the time interval for each should be same. You cannot compare one. You allow it to cool for 5 minutes, another one for 3 minutes. Then it will not be a fair comparison. The volume of the
Volume
water.
and surface area.
So say, to keep the surface area same, same type of beaker, container for each same for all experiments. Insulating material should be different, because we are finding the effect of insulating material. Thickness of the insulating material will the thickness of the insulating material, like you can have a cotton as an insulating material, you can have Cotton is one of the insulating material. Rubber is there surrounding it.
Sir,
Cover. Yes.
can we say volume of the insulating material?
Thickness is better because it is surrounding it. Volume, the two things may have the same volume, but one is thinner because volume may vary. The thickness around the can, which you insulate the can, that should be same.
Okay.
Minimum, at least you should write two because it is written variables. So it is a plural. Minimum it should be two. More than two you can also write. As you mentioned, the time interval for the experiment, it should be same surrounding temperature as well because surrounding temperature also affect the rate of cooling. Like same room temperature.
Put them in the same room.
Yeah. And the time interval, because of space, I will move on. But because of space, I'm not writing. You can also mention for the same time interval, we should record the temperature change. Then draw a table or tables with column headings to show how you display your result. So how we will display our result?
Time taken and volume. I mean, time taken and temperature.
Temperature. But how we represent, I will remove this and I will draw a table. Is it clear, the first 2 points? The
Yes.
procedure and the variable. Then the table with a column heading. So what will be our table? Because we are measuring a time interval, we are measuring a temperature.
Initial
So
time, final time.
no, not initial fine because we are making a 30-second interval.
Okay.
So what we will do for and table with the column heading. So example, my first table is for insulating material 1 or A. My second table is for insulating material 2 or B. And my third table is for insulating material C. Time denoted by small t and the unit of time you are taking second. Temperature denoted by capital T and the unit is SI unit is Kelvin, but because you are using a thermometer, so Celsius or centigrade will be there. The reason why I drew three different tables, you can even merge them and make one table. I will draw one table as well. First I'm explaining if you want to draw three different tables. So that will be for insulation A or 1. The second one will be for insulation B, and the third one is for insulation C. Then because you're sure about the time interval, you can fill up the time column. Like you started with 0, then 30, then 60, then 90, then 120, then 150 and 180. Is it clear? Because we are recording the temperature for every 30-second interval. But you don't have to write any value for temperature. Why you don't have to write any value for temperature? Because you are not doing experiment, you are just explaining how experiment can be done. Ninety, 120, 150, 180. Or you can merge them as one column. That means one table, not one column. That is why in the question they mentioned draw table or tables. Reason why we write the time, because we know that we are measuring a temperature after every 30-second interval. That's why I write the time. Even if you do not write the time, that is correct if you don't want to write. This is material A, material B, and material C. So this will be the time 0, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, and 180. So you can draw either separate for each insulating material, or you can draw separately, or you can draw separately, or you can use one table for this. Both ways it is correct. Then the last part, explain how would you use your reading to reach the conclusion, the result. So how we will use our reading to reach a conclusion? Simply we'll say the experiment which show a small change in temperature is effective insulation. That is answer for the last part. Or there's also another way, like if you want to show your understanding of the topic, you can also mention plot a graph between the temperature and time. This is a second way of answering this last question. This is one way. There's also another way to answer. I will write the statement for this. So plot a graph for temperature and time, and
Sir, first he said to draw a table, and now we will draw a graph.
I'm answering the last part. Explain how would you use your reading to reach the conclusion. This is the table part. Table we finished. Draw the table. Now how you can
Yeah.
read, how you can use your reading to reach a conclusion. This is one way of answering. That experiment which show a small change in temperature is effective insulation. Another way of answering is plot a graph between temperature on y-axis and time on x-axis and compare the slope. So which one is a example? If I have two insulation A and B, which one is better insulation? Which insulation is showing a small change in temperature? A is a better insulation. So the other way of answering this, you will use the reading to plot a graph between temperature, and you should mention what you're plotting on x-axis and what you're plotting on y-axis. Temperature on y-axis and time on x-axis. So use the reading to plot a graph between temperature on y-axis and time on x-axis. And how you compare this, the experiment for which show smaller gradient or slope is effective insulation. So the one which will have a steeper slope, it means that cool down faster. The one which is having a less steeper slope or a gradient, that is showing a smaller change in temperature. So this part you can answer both ways, but I prefer that you write in this manner. That's like for student, normally those who score a star, They are writing the detail. This is giving you marks, but that is not the full answer. Is it clear?
Sir,
Yes, Afif?
sir, like in the last question on paper 6, there is
Hmm.
no lines provided, right? It's just a blank page.
No, there are lines here. I was
Okay, okay.
I was using only, this is not the last question, there's another question after this. But for paper six, normally paper six, last question is experimental planning. But this time this was there in like second last question.
Okay, so like, so what I've done is like, would do you think it would be sensible to write the whole entire procedure in
Hmm.
this whole page? Like within the procedure, I would write all the controlled variables, and I would also like draw a table. Like, do you think that would be
No,
sensible? Because I did that in a notebook. I wrote a similar experiment in my notebook
hmm.
where in 10 steps, I just wrote everything I can,
No, the
including
look
yeah.
when you try to write an experiment, try to write according to the points instead of writing whole experiment. Reason for that, because when you're writing answering the points, in that case your focus is only on that point. Like explain briefly how would you carry out investigation. So I will not bother about what should be variable, what factor should change. I will only write about the procedure. Then after answering my procedure, the first part, I will move to second. Now I will try to answer only control variable. I will not bother about what procedure was used, which equipment is used. So whenever you're writing this experiment, try to write by steps. Like after answering the first in paragraph, you write paragraph for this, but don't include anything other than like don't include control variable in your first answer. And in a control variable, do not try to include a procedure. You got it? So
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you.
it will be
Okay.
easy for you to do correction, to recheck why before submitting. Like you will have a time to revise your paper, so you will have in a short time you can revise, so that you will see what is the first question, did I answer my first part or first part of the question, then move to second one. Otherwise, if you write a whole story of the paragraph about the experiment, then you have to find whether I include these control variables, where I include this control variable. So it will not be, in a short time you cannot revise your exam paper.
Okay, sir. I get it. Thank you, sir.
Okay. In the next question, this is the last question of paper 6. Normally there are like 4 to 5 questions. In paper 6 chemistry you will find 4. Physics variation is there, sometime 4, sometime 5. Reason for that, why this is having a 5, because if you check question number 2, it was nothing, like just reading apparatus and you finish question 2. So in this question, apparatus is shown. Student determine the focal length of a lens and the apparatus is shown. The student places the lens at a distance u. Illuminated object is there. He moves the screen until he observes a sharp focus image. On a figure, measure a distance u. So you have to use a ruler scale. You will measure this distance. Right now you cannot measure because it's not the hard copy. So, but in exam you will use your ruler or a scale to measure this distance, which will approximately 50 millimeter. 5 centimeter will be there or 50 millimeter. Then I'm just using approximation. I'm not measuring it. I'm just mentioning accordingly. The measure the distance v on the screen. So what will be the distance v?
20.
So distance v example 20 millimeter. But in exam you will measure with a ruler scale. Now, so this was 50 and this is 20. figure 5.1 is drawn 1/10 of actual size. So means
We'll
the
use ratio.
ratio. So figure size is 1/10 of actual size. So what the question is, what is the actual size? If I need actual size, so this 10 is divided, other side multiplied. So figure size multiplied by 10, I will get the actual size. So if figure size is 50, what will be the actual size? It will be 500. If figure size is 20, what will be the actual size? It will be 10 times, or it will be 200. Is it clear? This part? In the next part, calculate a value of F1 using a formula capital U into capital V divided by capital U plus capital V. So this was 500, this was 200. So 500 multiplied by 200 divided by 500 plus 200. What is the answer for focal length? Can you say the answer? $142 or $143? I can use so example, I'm using 143. A second student repeated the experiment 3 times and his value for the focal length 132, 141, 135. Calculate the average. How to calculate an average? So average of these number 132, 141, 135. So that will be the sum divided by the total. How many are there? 3. So 136. Then a third student using a same method find the focal length of her lens is 200 millimeter. She reads in a book that when u is equals to 2f, the distance u and v are equal. Calculate the 2f. So what is 2f? If focal length, because what student did, a third student uses the same method, find that the focal length f is 200. So for the third student, the focal length is 200. So what is 2f?
400.
So it will be double of that, that will be 400. Now, a student set up the apparatus and she adjusted both x and y to be 400. So she adjusted x should be 400, y should be 400. She observed that the image is blur. Then she slowly increased the distance y and she observed y is equals to 406 millimeter. Discuss whether the student result confirm the statement in the book. Look, what is the statement in the book? Statement in the book
No.
says statement in the book says when the value of the x is equals to value of the y, okay, when value of x is equals to value of y, when the object is placed at 2f. That is the student statement. So basically, to confirm or to know whether x and y are equal, the value of the x is 400 but the value of the y is 406. Are these values equal? Is 400 equal to 406? I want to compare.
No.
So if I want to compare, what I will do, I will calculate percentage difference. What is the percentage difference? It is a maximum. When I'm comparing the two values, maximum minus minimum divided by mean into 100. The maximum value is 406. The minimum value is 400. When I take the mean of 406 and 400, It will be 403 into 100. What is the answer?
Sir, I didn't understand this question. This one, this part.
In this question, the value of the x must be equal to value of the y. Okay.
Yes.
Student adjusted the value of the x, and that is 400. In the beginning, he adjusted x is 400, y is also 400. But he's observing a blur image. So if he's observing a blur image, he moved the screen so that he's getting a sharp image, but he's getting a sharp image when the value of the y is equals to 406. So the statement of the in the book says the value of the x must be equal to value of the y when you're obtaining a sharp image.
Okay.
So we are checking whether x and y are equal. The value of the x is 400 and the value of the y is 406. Are they
So
equal?
they are not equal. No.
You have to check the percentage difference. So when you
Why?
calculate, because if the percentage difference is more than 10%, then only you will say they are not equal.
Oh.
So percentage difference, when you calculate a percentage difference, that is maximum value 406 minus minimum value, which is 400, divided by mean into 100. What is the answer for percentage difference? Those who calculated this? So it is 1.5%. So 1.5% when the percentage difference is less than 10%, less than or equal to 10%, we say that two values are equal. Because in experiment, you don't have the 100% result. That is why you make a limit at which you can make an error. So 10% limit or 10% error is acceptable. When doing practicals, the practical values are not always not correct because there are human errors as well. Maybe apparatus is having some error. So you always give or calculate a percentage difference when you're calculating the two values. So what we'll say is discuss whether the student's result confirm the statement in the book. Yes, and the reason for that, the percentage difference between the two values is less than 10%, which shows results are or result is within experimental accuracy. So this is a term which we use when result is, or if the percentage difference is more than 10%, we will say the two result or statement is not true, or the results are not within the experimental accuracy. Is it clear, this part? So by looking at the number, don't try to, that is my point. When you're writing, looking at the number, you think 400, how 400 is equal to 406. But the thing is, in experiment, the 400 and 406 are same because the percentage difference is small or less than 10%. Then suggest two precautions that you take to investigate in order to obtain a reliable result. It's better you learn these precautions for accuracy of the light experiment. Yes, repetition. So I will mention all, and I want everyone to learn this because these precautions will remain same. You have to write only two, but I will write all of them. So what you should do, you should use a dark room. Why dark room? Because in a dark room you can see the image clearly. Or use bright lamp. And ensure the object and lens in same height. fix the meter rule on the bench. Not like in air you will measure, it should be fixed on the bench. Move, when you are obtaining a sharp image, you should move screen slowly back and forth or to and fro. Then mark the positions of center of the lens. And you should look perpendicular to avoid parallax error. Is it clear? These precautions related to this investigation. So for light experiment, these are your precautions. Use a dark room or a bright lamp. Look, if this object was a triangle, because normally what we do, we cut in a cardboard. So in a cardboard, there's a cardboard, we cut a shape of a triangle and we place a lamp. Back of it, we place a lamp. So when the light is coming out, it is coming out as a shape of a triangle. Then we passes through this, through a lens, and convex lens always form inverted image. So on the screen, what we will get the triangle, but inverted triangle, because real images formed by the convex lens are inverted. And if object distance is more, image distance is less, then it will be a small triangle. But if object distance is small and image distance is more, then it will be a large triangle compared to the object.